What's going on, beautiful people of YouTube? This is J. Jonathan Reno, and I'm bringing another fantastic video. This time we're going to do the things baby gamers will never get to experience. Now, I know this is going to piss off quite a bit of you young bucks out there, but for the older generation like me, I hope you enjoy. Sit back, relax, and here we go.
Number 10.
Load times. That's something you kids will have to deal with for a long time and more time to come, because see, back in my day, when cartridges were the only thing that we really had and CDs weren't even a thing to even be thought of, there were no real load times. They were almost non-existent. It almost took more time to actually physically get up and put the cartridge from the case to the console and turn it on than it would even get your game up and running. And that's one thing that drives me nuts nowadays. You know how long the GTA 5 load time is? This is something that I'm sure is going to be resolved in the future, but until then, you kids are stuck with the fact that you got to watch a screen with a little bar, sometimes percentage symbols, and it's going to take control of your life. And remember, us older folk, we come from a time where we pressed a button and we started fucking jumping up and punching blocks with our fist.
Number 9.
Replay value of today's games are absolute dog ass. And now I say this whilst being on the fence just a little, just because I'm trying not to include multiplayer. I'm talking about straight story mode campaigns here. And what I'm getting at is I can still pop in a cart of Link to the Past or, you know, Super Mario Brothers 3, and I can still just have as much fun as when I first played the game. And, you know, a lot of you kids out there nowadays, you play these games from emulation or you download it on your Wii. You never played these games before in your life. I can remember opening these games brand new from the store. And that's why you see a lot of these reviews and Let's Plays going back to them older games, is because they hold so much water, except for the games nowadays which don't, you know? And that's something you young bucks will never really truly get to experience, and hopefully that might change, but I really doubt that. This replay value is almost out the door when it comes to the story of a game, when all people really care about now is multiplayer, which is kind of a, you know, kind of a shit road we're turning, but that's the way this car is a-driving.
Number 8.
Original games are becoming harder and harder to find nowadays, and you know, we're having to leave it up to indie companies that just have this idea that no big company will even support, to kind of throw something out there just so we can kind of see something different. That's not your, you know, your everyday first-person shooter or fucking strategy let's play bullshit. But back then, games, when they would come out, when Mario first hit the shelves, people were like, what the fuck is this? I am no longer shooting a pixel at another pixel whilst being in the center of huge pixels. You know, things, they jump so quickly. You know, you're not used to playing a game such as Legend of Zelda, where you're in a kind of an open world and you get to do what you want. These are all new revolutionary ideas that you don't really get to see nowadays. You know, you've seen it 1,000 times, and being from that time when I could play a game that I've never played before, but you see 1,000 of them now, it was such a really cool experience to just be like, wow, that was a really awesome experience. And I rarely get that nowadays. I like to think I keep up with the games fairly well, and it's really just now I want to follow the story of a game, or I find that interesting. It's not like, holy fuck, I got to get my dick wet on that one.
Number 7.
Boss battles nowadays are a bunch of bull fucking shit. I just got done with a game, and I shit you not, the only buttons that I have pressed to beat this boss was A, B, X, and Y. And not maybe a little spoiler alert here, it was Dying Light. I was so amped up about this game, played it all the way through, loved it, and then the boss battle was just a cinematic push button bullshit. And I hated that. Kids don't really appreciate where boss battles came from. Boss battles look so crazy now and so epic and just so huge, but they're all show. There's no real fun to them. There's no real, you know, thrill of beating them and being all proud of yourself, that, you know, like there was back in the day. I remember the first time I slapped Ganon in the nuts playing Ocarina of Time, and I felt like a glorious god. But when I beat that boss a couple days ago on Dying Light, man, I felt so pathetic. I've done all this hard shit throughout the game, and they give me a cinematic push button bullshit. And I tell you what, you kids just don't know what a cool feeling it is to really spend hours upon hours playing a game to finally get to a boss and have him hand you your nuts on a platter and say, sorry about your luck.
Fickety fuck 6.
Arcades, if you can even find one that's not part of a gimmick to keep you happy and waiting until your precious $15 movie starts, are a thing of the past. And people, it is a real shame. I can remember so easily being with my friends, and the whole topic of the day was, we got to get some damn quarters, we got to get to the arcade, we got to fuck around. And that's something I really miss. If there was a true arcade nowadays, I would love to go. I remember being with my wife and seeing an arcade. We were at a flea market. It was this man trying to keep the dream alive, and I don't even think the guy was there, but the arcade was, and it was up and running. And man, I at least spent $5, and that thing was awesome. And you just don't see that nowadays. And if you do, it is one of them newfound technology, crazy fucking, virtual shits dancing all over the fuck. It's not the classic, Mortal Kombat, House of the Dead, and fucking Cruising the World, shit like that. There were so many awesome arcade games that you really don't see anymore, and it's a shame just that whole experience, just a building only designed just to be an arcade. Nothing else, not like a little parlor and then you got the real thing over here. The whole building was just an arcade. You got some big change machines because they love to fucking eat your money. And it was awesome. And that's something you kids today just will never really truly get to experience the way you should without turning in tokens to get a little, harmonica that's made of plastic and fucking has Hello Kitty on the side that you spent $20 on a goddamn bullshit game to experience.